Fans of various backgrounds and personalities have gotten increasingly frustrated with the recent, seemingly widespread phenomena of character bending and continuity alteration. These fans are often labeled as phobes and bigots whenever they strongly oppose a new work of art looking to retcon stories and characters they know. I find it equal parts funny, predictable, and alarming that is the go-to move whenever a group of fans disagree with an adaptation. Here are a few reasons I believe fans vehemently rebel against these changes. Swapping immutable traits of characters often breaks immersion into the world of the stories. Stories of fantasy and mythology often have great world building. The medium does not matter, be it a game or book. The creators often go into painstaking detail about the world the characters inhabit. This is most evident in Tolkien's world, a reason why a lot of fans have rejected Amazon's attempt at adapting Tolkien with the Rings of Power. Tolkien's stories take place in a detailed, well-defined geographical area with emphasis on the old history of the Proto-English. He created a detailed atlas of this world and the people that inhabit it. The Rings of Power casting breaks immersion. From the series promotion, it appears Amazon's story will break character details and characterization, even the world and lore. The continuity and time is also messed up. Fans never take kindly to such decisions. Character and world consistency should reign supreme. I would say it is the most important thing adaptations must get right. Adaptations will lose core audiences and fans of the source material if out of character dialogue and decisions run rampant in the story. Christopher Tolkien may not have adored the Lord of the Rings movies, but the vast majority of Tolkien fans do, some of whom have Tolkien's work as a family heirloom. The movies are beloved because the characters and the world stay consistent to what they were in the books, despite the changes made to the overarching story. Characterization and character consistency is important in all stories, not just adaptations. An example of a fail in character consistency is from the Disney Empire. The character, everyone's favorite pirate, Captain Jack Sparrow, a witty, shrewd, calculating, and eternally eccentric character. This characterization is present throughout the trilogy and in small doses in the fourth film. This all goes out the window in the fifth. Dead Men Tell No Tales. His eccentricity has now been morphed into a lack of intelligence. He is portrayed as a drunk fool whose success was entirely based on luck. Gone is the cunning and cleverness that was first attributed to him. Peel back the curtains and you will find out that the director and writers for the first trilogy did not return for this film. The new writers got his characterization wrong and left audiences feeling an unfamiliarity with the character on screen. Johnny Depp may have been present with the pirate garb, but he wasn't playing Captain Jack Sparrow.
That's got to be the best part I've ever seen.
So it would seem.
Filmento goes into detail about this imposter version of Captain Jack in his video, link in the description. Another example is from everyone's favorite season of television, the final season of Game of Thrones. Our character is Tyrion Lannister, considered the smartest man in Westeros. Now, you don't have to be as intelligent as Tyrion is perceived to know that holding people in the crypt with several tombs in an attempt to survive a battle against the Night King, an enemy known for reanimating the dead as soldiers in his army, is not a very smart idea. As it stands, even the actor knew this decision was inconsistent with the character.
We're in a crypt. Nobody thought of that. He's bringing all the dead people back to life, and they put the women and children in a crypt with all the dead people. So, rah. Tyrion is smart, but I guess not that smart.
I guess the showrunners kinda forgot how smart Tyrion is supposed to be. Race swapping has gone so off the rails. Historical characters are getting race swapped. Take that in for a second. Real life people with a genealogy and available family history are getting race and sexuality swapped. I think it is important to state that I don't consider voice acting as character bending, a stance I am sure a lot of people have. Using one of my favorite animated shows, The Boondocks, as an emphasis, Regina King voices Huey and Riley Freeman. She absolutely kills it, as did Charlie Murphy and Samuel L. Jackson, as Ed the Third and Jim Rami, respectively. I remember hearing about a white actor resigning from voicing a black character. That made little sense. The obvious guilt and virtue signaling aside, I am fine with Broadway too. Also, it should go without saying that actors don't have to follow the character right down to unimportant aspects such as religion or even nationality. Now, they can always cast people who match the character to the T, but it shouldn't be a deal breaker if it doesn't happen. Idris Elba should be able to play a Muslim Nigerian, Chris Hemsworth a Norse deity, Deepika Padukone a Durban Indian. Obviously, there could be other reasons why people support race, gender and sexuality changes, but the ones stated in this two-parter are the ones I found most prevalent. I should state clearly I am fully aware some people truly dislike a character based purely on the character or actor's race, gender, orientation, and creed. These people should be ignored because they don't have it in them to make valid arguments. Besides, they are prejudiced, of course. That said, the bulk of the criticism aimed against character bending is legitimate. Character bending in all forms is lazy and insulting. Those of us against it are against it in all forms. A principle should apply even when it isn't in your best interest to support it. Don't be a paper bag in a hurricane, along for wherever the stronger current thinking takes you. Now, some supporters of character bending are upfront about their support of it, only leaning in one way. Hypocrisy we can abide, faulty reasoning we cannot. I implore you to consider these arguments the next time a studio inevitably race, gender or sexuality swaps a character to remit again down the vine.